All right, we're a couple minutes after 11 here. I'd like to call the meeting to order. I just want to, I've asked Rick Hyatt to be our parliamentarian, is that what he said?
Yes.
Today. And so he's graciously accepted. We're gonna start the meeting, do the moments of silence for the brothers first, is that?
That'd be good, yeah.
Okay, so everybody has that packet. Does everybody have a packet? If you don't, let me know. So if you turn in that packet to the second page, I believe, you'll see the list of deceased brothers, and they're kind of by date. So I'd like to have a moment of silence for our recently deceased brothers, please. All right. Next, you all have in the packet the minutes for the 55th annual meeting. They've been distributed for approval, so I'd like to have a motion of approval, please. Approval of the minutes.
So moved. Seconded.
Seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, next we're gonna have the treasurer's report by Jim Miller, which you've passed out to.
It's included in this package.
It's included in the packet, okay. Same ones that you had. This is from Dave Crosway, and that's the same as what you had, so.
Sure, Dale, that's probably, if there's any questions, too, you can probably,
Okay. Okay, so those are the minutes that we put in the package.
Yeah, so what's, the actual report that's in your packet is from ending December 30th. If some of you got the single pages today, one of these years Rick and I will get coordinated and we won't duplicate this all, but we have single sheets that are more up to date. Some of you got those at registrations. Anybody need some yet? Probably. Jim, you want to send? Two different ones. I won't spend a lot of time, but there's about 3 or 4 years ago, I think we mentioned we migrated to using QuickBooks for our accounting for the association. That's working out real well, I think. There's kind of 3 of us or 4 of us or more involved. Jim still is a treasurer and takes care of paying the bills, making deposits and all that. He's got your checkbook. Taj, he's on here at Taj, has an account at the bank where all the alumni dues, your voluntary alumni dues go. I take care of inputting into QuickBooks. I have access to the accounts online and PayPal that we use for registration. And then Dave Crosswhite, I don't think Dave's on. I don't believe, I'm not sure. But anyway, Dave's a brother who's actually a retired CPA. So he's done work with nonprofits and others. So he's really kind of elevated us up to a higher level yet of getting everything kind of compliant and really the way it's supposed to be. So, what I'm passing out is this 2-page reports.
And getting some of our designations returned, Dale.
Pardon?
Getting some of our designations returned.
Yes. Yeah, Al might talk about this in our financial committee report, but Dave's got us back up to speed with IRS. We got new EIN numbers and got us compliant. Actually filed tax returns for the anti-active and the Alumni Association last year, and that's probably the first time we've done that in a long, long time. And also, Dave's got us organized an educational foundation too, which just started a year ago. We haven't done much in that yet, but we actually have our own compliant educational foundation. So if you give money to that, now we're actually a legitimate tax deductible expense, which as a charitable organization. So just quickly, the 2 reports, 2 single page. If you look at the single page, one says a statement activity at the top. That's basically an income statement. Again, we just kind of kick right out of QuickBooks as needed. This was up to date as a couple days ago. My 2 main sources of income on a regular basis are the voluntary alumni dues. And see, we got about $10,900 this year. That campaign's pretty well over, but that is actually about $1,000 more than a year ago. There's only about $700 cost involved in that, which is printing and postage and mailing out requests for that. So that's our main source of revenue. The other one is the Hawaiian raffle that Rick conducts. Right now, we're around $8,000 in on that. We do have about $4,000 or $5,000 expense there because of the prizes mainly and the mailing and postage of that. So we net maybe $3,000 out of that. But those two items are our main source of revenue besides any fundraising, special fundraising events that we have during the year, which a year ago we had one for some house improvements. We raised like $7,000 or $8,000. So other than that, those are kind of our two main things. The house rent basically is in and out. We collect rent on 9 months. We collect rent on a 9 months basis from the active chapter. We pay it out, our lease, over 12 months, but the total dollar amount is the same. So when we finish up from the active chapter, they February, March, April is the last time they pay us for the year. We still have to pay June, May, June,
Through
July.
July.
Yeah, so we
Dave,
have
want me
to
to report on that right now?
Go ahead.
I've talked to Hayden on that. We're getting the check today for February and March. He's also giving me the April check, which I'll hold till April. So I'm gonna have all the rent collected for the full year from them. They pay us $5,600 9 times a year. We pay the landlord $4,200 12 times a year. That balances out. So Hayden's gonna give me those checks today, so basically I'll have the money for all the rent for the rest of the year for the chapter. And as far as registration goes, the chapter, they're paying through their Greek bill on their house bills, so for the banquet tonight and everything, so he's getting me a check tonight too, to pay for all the actives and stuff too, so there shouldn't be anything fall through the cracks on that. I think we've got everything pretty well collected on that. He's also, I think there's a deposit for somebody that's in the house, a rent deposit we put in an escrow account. He's gonna get that to me today too, so I think everything's gonna be pretty well accounted for and with the chapter. And I thank him for that. I also wanna thank Dave, and Zach for helping with the registration, and collecting everything today.
So that's kind of, you can look through the income statement front and back. Again, we probably, besides extraordinary fundraising events, we maybe make 13 or 15,000, income-wise, 13 or 15,000 a year. But we basically have that much in operating expenses. A couple main ones is our website, communications, we call them by communications, which is a website and some other things. We spend $3,000 or $4,000 a year. Rick takes care of that. Rick Story on that. Right now, we've got some stuff in storage, so we're paying close to $2,400 a year for storage costs. Then we have some other odds and ends, that we pay throughout the year. So we probably about break even as far as admin costs to what we're actually bringing in on our alumni dues and our net on the Hawaiian raffle, unless we have any extraordinary fundraising events, and usually those are targeted if we do something for the house or something like that. So that's a statement of activity, and the other one that you have is basically a statement of financial position, which is a balance sheet. You can see the different accounts that we have. We did open up a new educational foundation checking and savings account. There's not much money in there, but those are new. We consolidated some others. We still have quite a few accounts, but some of those will be going away over time. Other than that, the only other large assets we have, the biggest ones are what's in the National AGR and the SIU Foundation Scholarship Fund, which that's in their accounts. We show it on our balance sheet, but those are used strictly for scholarships. And no other large liabilities. The security deposits due liability is money we've collected for a security deposit, which if somebody leaves and they don't do any damage to the room, they'll get that back. And again, Dave Crosswhite, who's a CPA, has really upgraded added some accounts, added some classes in QuickBooks and so forth, that we can really do pretty good accounting, and it flows right to a tax return now, a lot easier than it's been. So I think the process we got for doing that right now is working out pretty good. Al Ostro and Dave Cross quite also work a lot with the active chapter from that standpoint and helping them on the finances and things like that. So I think all that's going along pretty smoothly.
Thanks, Dale.
Yep.
Thanks, Dave.
If there are any questions, do that, let me know, let Jim know.
Do we have a, motion for approval of the finances?
Thanks, Dale.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes. Excellent. Let's take a moment and introduce ourselves, go around the room. We can do that real quick. Stand up and say who you are and where you live. And I'm Rick Story, I'll start. I was pin number 200 back in '75. I'm retired, and I had a manufacturing company in Elk Grove Village that I was part owner of and sold in 2022, and just enjoying retirement.
I'm Rick Hyatt, Executive Secretary, pin number 45. I'm tired, but I'm still working. I love working, love what I'm doing, and I gotta keep working because we gotta build a house, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's what you gotta do, you
Yeah.
gotta keep working so you can set some money around to build a house. Farm management, basically core business and securities, that's what I do. Thank you.
I'm Greg Webb, pin number 201. Work for Archer Daniels Midland Company, live in Chicago.
Bill Bradney, I'm pin 189. I live in the town of Elgin and I too am retired.
I'm Chuck Schaub, pin number 199, graduated in 1980. I am currently on the board, working with the house. I've been doing remodeling and light construction for the last 45 years, and hopefully I can help get this house going also.
Jim Miller, pin 255, graduated '83, degree in ag business and plant and soil science, vice president, senior ag lender, bank and trust company in Witt. Been there for 35 years, expecting to retire probably about this time next year. Also farm with my brother at Witt and live in Columbus, Illinois.
Jake Riddleman, charter member of LEAC and also AGR, been around forever. I still work, I just don't get paid anymore. Glad to be here, to be 84.
I'm Steve Wyatt, pin number 57. I'm retired U.S. Department of Agriculture, and I live in Effingham, Illinois.
Riley McNeilis, pin number 979. I graduated in 2023. Currently on the board. I'd be the youngest one on the board here till hopefully this year we get some other guys on there that want to be involved. I currently live outside of Neoga, Illinois, working for Sloan Implement, working on John Deere equipment. If you got a question about precision ag on John Deere, let me know.
David Neatberg, Springfield, Illinois, pin number 326. I graduated in 1987, and I work for the USDA Risk Management Agency for the next 16 months.
Dave Saintsmain, everybody calls me Saint, pin number 297. Worked 34 years with AT&T Communications, spent the last 3 years with Frontier Communications. Got laid off. I volunteered to leave when Verizon bought them out, and 2 weeks later AT&T called me back, so I went back to work for AT&T for the last 8 months, so I can't retire. So when I hear, oh, I'm gonna retire, you ain't gonna retire. Make sure you're not. So, go ahead, Harley.
Harley Pritchard, run field operations for Blackhawk Foundation Company, owner of Diamond Ridge Angus and Pritchard Cattle Company.
My name is Drake Smith. I'm pin number 1023, and I'm from Grafton, Illinois.
I'm Wolf here, Sherman, Illinois, pin number 1017.
My name is Nathan Lees. I'm pin number 1031, and I'm from Marion, Illinois.
I'm Cooper
Dave Hartke, 437, farm in Teutopolis, Illinois.
My name is Quinn Coons, I'm DNR Scholarship, my PIN number is 1038, and I'm from Champaign.
My name's Jacob Sodders, I'm from Naperville, Illinois, and my PIN number is 1034.
I'm Gavin Richardson, I'm from Pekin, Illinois, and my PIN number is 1033.
I'm Matt Holliday, my PIN number is 1030, and I am from Petersburg, Illinois.
I'm Chad Haynes, and my PIN number is 1037, and I'm from Trenton, Illinois. My name is Jacob Podner, I'm from Godfrey, Illinois, my PIN number is 1042.
Can you guys please mute it,
Tim Becker, 277. I farm and have a freight moving business, Alexander, Illinois.
Randy Twyford, PIN 261 from Jacksonville, Illinois, run a food truck and catering business.
Roger Clark, originally from Walton, Illinois, up north, 6 hours north. Taught 39 years, high school ag teacher. My last job, which is ironic that she was called out as a livestock judgment coach at City University. I retired 3 times, and I have no wife, so I can retire 3 times.
Vim Klein, my PIN number is 1041, and I'm from Martinsville, Illinois.
I'm Liam Smith, PIN 1024. I'm the reporter, and I'm from Wayne City.
I'm Derek Sample, PIN 1035. I'm from Cessna, Illinois. I'm an ag education major doing my student teaching actually in Wayne City right now. So I'm kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum looking to get into a job as opposed to out of one.
You'll find one.
Thank you.
I'm Dennis Woolen, PIN number 1015. I just graduated in December, so I'm now employed for the Equity in Alma, Illinois, and agronomy sales.
Joey Von Vokel, I'm from Pocahontas, Illinois, and 1028. Hayden Travis, PIN 1027, and I'm from Olney, Illinois.
Adam Loker, I'm from Wayne City as well. The only thing I have to brag about is I have Jake Grindelman's PIN number plus 1,000.
Colby Ryan from Cumberland County, PIN number 1014, graduating this May.
Zach Campworth, PIN number 1009, farm in Carlisle, Illinois, and I graduated in May of 2025.
Paul Merriman, PIN number 211, and retired from adult education, and I'm doing freelance and consulting for free. I think they call it popular work.
Dale Latzik, graduated in '76, PIN number 141. I live up in Monticello by Champaign, Illinois. And since my wife is not here, I'll say my greatest accomplishment my whole life was bringing Greg Webb into the fraternity.
Wayne Paletti, I graduated in 1976, PIN number 173. I farm up in the Alhambra Marine area with my son.
Ron Paletti, I graduated in 1974, still actively farming because I'm paying off 2 divorces.
My name is Grayson Appleby, originally from Moreau, Forsyth, Illinois. Currently the VNR of recruitment, and my PIN number is 1036.
I'm Will Gordon, I'm from Blue Mound, Illinois. I'm currently the Nova Ruler and PIN number 1020.
I'm Dewey Grunert, Nashville, Illinois, PIN number 226. I graduated in 1979, years and years ago. But not as many years as some. My wife wishes I was retired, but she hasn't got her wish yet. I still farm, and I intend to do so as long as I'm healthy. So I'm like this guy. I like what I do.
I'm Mike Nauman from Princeville, Illinois, PIN number 249. I work for Carl Health as a grounds maintenance specialist for 2 of the hospitals in Florida.
And you have the.
And I'm co-owner of a wedding and event venue.
DJ Martin from Waynesville, Illinois, not
Wayne City, but Waynesville, okay? Pin number 195. I had the good fortune of having a pledge class of Rick Story, Greg Webb, Chuck Shaw, Bill Bradley.
Wow.
Biggest class here.
Okay, and so, yeah.
That was a burden.
Al Osgood, graduated in 1971, originally from Antioch, Illinois. I've lived in Albion, Indiana, which is, you know, if you don't know where Albion is, it's halfway between Wauwaka and sort of Ligonier. Anyway, I've farmed my whole life, will continue to do that, I guess, till they bury me. So, anyway, but been good to be here.
Al, was that the new home of the Bears I hear? Albion was there?
Gonna be close.
I'm Gary Apter. I'm the faculty advisor for this fine group of young men and have been for quite some time, and I think I'm getting a lot closer to this side of the room in my time here than that side, even though I want to be over there just like we all want to be.
It doesn't help though when they say, well, I got this pledge number, this PIN number, but I got 1,000 on top of it. Yeah. To me, I'm going over and busting them on the side of the head with my cane.
All right, why don't we do everybody at home? Nick, you wanna start?
Thanks, Rick. Nick Martin, pin number 676, Beta Alpha class, Beta Pi class. Graduated in 2006, plant soil science. Live in Algonquin, Illinois, and a vice president of consulting for Bartlett Tree Experts.
Okay. Don Knapp, you wanna go next? So gone.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yes.
I think I have a problem here, so.
All right.
I joined in 1960.
Hey, Rick,
Yeah.
try, hover over Dave and then mute him. Maybe that's the echo.
He's on twice. That's
He's
why
on
there's
twice.
echo.
Oh, kick one of them out.
Oh, boy, I'll kick the wrong one out.
Yeah, the
Maybe
one.
the top one.
No, the
bottom.
This
go to the screen.
It's the top one.
Top.
It's the top. It has no camera.
Yeah, the top.
The one above that, there's no camera.
Right
That one,
Yeah.
Take that one.
Remove. Yep.
Bye, Don.
Don't report. No.
All right. The mouse is glitchy. Okay, hang on. It's moving like crazy.
Okay.
We got it.
There we go.
All right.
All right, Don, go ahead.
Go ahead, Don.
Okay, John Depp, I live in North Barrington, Illinois, PIN 30. Two highlights of my life are probably the years I was a trader on the Chicago Mercantile. And in 2009, when I had reserve champion structure you at the North American Livestock Show. That's it.
Thanks, Don. Eric.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Eric Luce, pin number 325, graduated in 1985. Split my time between Shelby County, Illinois, and Carmel, Indiana. Currently a director for Search Biologicals, and sorry I couldn't be with you today. I'm at the Commodity Classic this week in San Antonio.
Thanks, Eric. Dino.
Yeah, Dino Chambers, PIN 190. Yeah, I was also a part of that new pledge class of fall 1975. I'm presently a clinical exercise physiologist with the Department of Veterans Affairs, and I'm based in Bakersfield, California.
Excellent. Thanks, Dino.
Thank you.
Tej?
Hey, good morning, everybody. Tej Davis, Petersburg, Illinois, PIN 498. Been doing the alumni dues since 2008.
believe it or not.
Wow.
Dave?
Yeah, this is Dave Beckew. I am Rockford, Illinois, but now I'm in Florida. Pin number's 264, graduated in '83, and retired from the Illinois Department of Natural Resources.
Excellent. Well, I thank you all for joining, and did I miss anybody online? I don't think so. Okay, perfect. All right, well, we're gonna carry on. I thank everybody. Okay, next would be chapter update with Noble Ruler Will.
Well, I appreciate all of you guys being here. For as much as you had to drive to get here, we appreciate it. Thank you for donating your time to us. For our chapter update, I took a couple notes here. Right now, for active numbers, we're sitting at a 31-man chapter, all that are very involved in the College of Ag. Different RSOs, we have some on USG, some on Ag Council. We're pretty involved in the school, and we tend to keep it that way. With this new executive council that we have, pardon my French, but we're pretty kick-ass. We kind of just took grasp of what our last EC did and just we're multiplying it. We're hoping the next one can do the same thing as well as we set them up for success as the coming times come. What else do I have here? Just some updates of what we've been doing. We've added some things to our chapter constitution just to make things run a little smoother, to help hold each other more accountable than what we have in the past. Some events, we've been to almost every event that we could possibly go to for Ag Council, while also raising money for fundraisers and philanthropy. We just recently switched our philanthropy to farm rescue. So we figured that was a little more our realm, going from the agricultural side. We've been to all of the competitions that we could and all the tabling events for Ag Council. There was a soup cook-off, then we had a new student barbecue that we attended, and a couple more in there that got our name out a little more and let us intervene with each other and network as we do here. What else do we have here? So recruitment numbers. This spring was kind of college-wide. We didn't get anybody this year, or this semester, I should say. But we kind of took this into a bad thing and turn it good, where we started trying to find things internally that we could fix. So, like I said, we had some stuff to our constitution. We most likely strive in informing everybody on things that they may not be informed about, especially the new guys that came in the fall, teaching them about our certain positions, how things work, kind of updating them on the Constitution and what they may not be informed of. So we kind of went with a bad thing and kind of turned it good for the improvement of the chapter. What else do we have here? So the house update. Our house is doing well. We're keeping it clean, doing our regular house cleans 2 times a week. One on Sunday, and then we switched it recently to one on Thursdays. One thing I did want to bring up, and I don't know if you guys have been informed of this or not, but we recently have had problems with our dumpster. Our neighbors dumping trash in our dumpster. Well, we had a couple instances where we confronted them, and we've been threatened with a gun both times. And I didn't know if anybody was informed of this information, but I just figured I'd let everybody know. To us, to me, and to REC, our safety is our #1 priority. And whatever way that we can move to make us safer, I feel like would be the best bet that we could do. I wish they were still here to hear that, because I feel like if they would have heard that, there could probably be a jump on something to get something moving.
They know that.
They do? Okay.
They're
I didn't know if they did or not.
Yes.
But just the meaning that EC and for the whole undergraduate chapter, our safety is our #1 priority. And without REC, or especially the undergrad, we wouldn't be where we are today. And then my last my last thing I wanted to talk about was how proud I am of our chapter. We've gone from nothing to a lot in a very short amount of time. We've gone back-to-back years on winning Ag Council Excellency and RSO of the Year, like we just won last night. To me, and I hope to everybody, that's a pretty good eye-opener on we're in the right direction, and we're looking to do it again next year. We're going for 3-peat. I just wanted to thank everybody for your time, for your commitment, and to making our chapter better, along with the undergraduate who spend so much time together to make things better for our whole entire chapter. Yes, sir.
Just a couple, how many of the 31, how many are graduating then in May?
So I believe we have Adam, Colby, okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Our number for next fall that we have for our recruitment chair, we're looking at, we want to pick up 20 P&Ms, possible P&Ms. We want to have 20 people on a sheet that Grayson Appleby has done a great job with managing it. So he made a Google form that the whole entire chapter can fill out of names that we could possibly have for P&Ms. And he's done a great job managing it. We have, I believe, how many on there now?
Right now we have 7 potential new members for this upcoming fall. But I'm also starting to get in contact with schools that are in an hour radius, high schools, because if we just projecting, high school seniors that are potentially coming down to Carbondale, if AGR can be a reason they come down to Carbondale, they would definitely be new guys next fall.
The other thing is, how many do you have in the house right now, and how many will be leaving?
Right now, I believe we have 9 in the house. There will be a couple leaving, but we'll have the numbers to fill it back up, because we put in our constitution recently that our Nova ruler has to live in the house, and then there's another one that has to live in the house. I can't think of off the top of my head now. Houseman has to live in the house. So we have our houseman who just moved in, then I'm gonna be moving in, and then we have a couple other guys that are on EC that are taking the step to move into the house as well. So I believe we're losing 3, but I believe we're gaining 4.
You trying to get up to 12, or what are you trying to do?
So yeah, we're trying to get as many in as we possibly can. We've been talking to people and seeing how we can work with their leases and seeing if, like we did a couple years ago, where we could possibly break a lease to get somebody in if that's the way we wanted to go.
And the numbers are max 11 because we have 1 office.
Okay.
Yeah.
11.
Yes, sir, Jake.
I'd again congratulate you on the accomplishments of the last couple of years, especially last night. It made me proud to sit there as an AGR, see Farmhouse got nothing last night. One other thing for alumni, these guys built a heck of a float. I mean, they've won first place last probably 15 years. Probably, in my opinion, they had the best float they've ever built. And thanks to a big screw up with SIU, we didn't win. We should have won. We should have won. We never did find out, I don't think, what happened, but anyway, I just want to tell you, it was a great float for homecoming. They and the sorority worked together, did a great job. And by the way, you guys left some tools out my machine.
We'll be sure to grab them. Are there any other questions for me? Or for anybody in the undergraduate chapter? Yes, sir.
I'm gonna be talking about the dumpsters shortly also.
Okay. Any other questions? All righty, sounds good. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Next, Dr. Gary AGR.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.
As I look up there, Nick and Taj, I remember when I was a young man and I got to meet you both. I think my PIN number is 691, if I'm not mistaken. So, time at this university flies. It absolutely flies. And I am now the oldest guy in the School of Agricultural Sciences. And I want to be like you guys, but I'm never going to get there again. I recognize that today. But what I can tell you is, from my 28 years of experience, I've had the opportunity to view this organization go through some really good times and go through some very big struggles. And I am extremely excited to see the progression that I've seen in the last 4 or 5 years. Would you not concur?
Yes, sir.
I think the opportunity for this group of young men to be the professionals that lead agriculture, or whatever you're getting a major in, to be leaders in that area is without doubt resoundingly positive. And I think we have made a huge impact on this College of Ag Life and Physical Sciences, because they didn't even know what College of Ag was, and all of a sudden we're running the boat. And that's how that's supposed to be. And so I am super proud of these guys, and I'll share some more tonight when we get to the foundation, because I've got some bigger things to give. But with that, I hold them up as absolutely an example of when alumni get involved, and we've had some difficult conversations, because sometimes us old guys can't speak to young guys very effectively, and I understand. But you guys have been open-hearted enough to understand where we're coming from, and you guys have been willing to let us let the conversation wiggle a little bit in order to find common ground. So as a group, I couldn't be more proud of you. Well done.
Well, Dr. Apgar, I would say your commitment to the fraternity has been genuine, and you've always been there when we needed you, and you're there still today. We thank you for that, and hope that you will continue. We need your guidance, and we need your direction.
Thank you.
So Rick had to step out for just a second, so our next area is the Financial Task Force report, and Dale and Al.
Well, when we initially established this a couple of years ago, not only was the chapter struggling with a number of financial issues, but certainly the Alumni Association was too. And so we're no longer a task force, we're actually a committee now, standing committee. But we've been working with the chapter. Our number one goal in the beginning was to get accounts collected that were really old, and we had, as I shared with you last year, we had some accounts that were 15 years old. Well, we've gotten all that stuff cleaned up, and really right now, the chapter is in great shape financially, simply because we've been able to collect a lot of old bills. And so that part has been really good. And we've been able to keep things current. So, I mean, that's fantastic. We've made a lot of changes, and a lot of work has gone into that, and I really appreciate everybody's cooperation to make that happen. As Dale talked about, on the alumni side, we started to revamp all of our financial reports and get our financial reporting much better, and to also get it to the point where we were back in compliance with nonprofit status with our friends at the IRS. We did get our nonprofit status approved then for the Alumni Association, and through the establishment of our new foundation, we also have we are 501c7 with our, for those of you that are into all these numbers, 501c7 with the Alumni Association. We're 501c3 with our new educational foundation. We did get the chapter status back, also compliant with the 501c7. So everyone now is compliant again with the IRS, and which has been really helpful. Dave has been very helpful in all of that. He's given us a lot of guidance in getting our reports where we need to be, so that going forward, we're going to be able to stay in that situation where we are compliant and getting reports done, and so on and so forth. So, but we are going to need some assistance along the way. Some of you young guys that are really into numbers, it would really be helpful to have you join into our finance committee. We'd certainly welcome all of that, because some of us at some point are going to get too old to remember what we did yesterday, much less, you know, how some of these reports have to be put together. So, at any rate, a lot of changes have happened along the way. We've had a lot of good changes, and I guess I just wanna update everybody on what's happening and how those things have occurred. And I know some of those reports can be a bit confusing when you look at them, because there's a lot of numbers there and a lot of different things, but certainly don't hesitate to ask Dale, myself, somebody will get you an answer on whatever your questions might be. So, any questions?
Thanks, Al.
Thank you.
Housing, report from Chuck.
I think Matt hit it on the head today when he talked about frustrating. Because things are frustrating for all of us. But I'm up here for another purpose today. And I'm gonna tell you my purpose first. I'm here to oversee this house. Current house we're living in. And that's the frustration I'm talking about. We have got to do a better job of maintaining our living quarters. Whether we rent or buy or whatever, it's still our house. This committee was put together, Rick and Paul, to oversee the house. And we've done our best to try to keep up with it, but you guys have to help us. How many actives are actually here today? Okay, I'm gonna hand out to all of you, this is our new house check-in. We sent these out in January, and I also sent them out to individuals here about a month ago. I'm asking for a report back on reported damages to the house and to your rooms. The reason being, we have to start making people accountable for damages in this house. Just to give you an example of where we are with damages, your financial report you just got. Statement of activity. From July 1st of 2025 to February yesterday, we had a total of repairs and maintenance of about $1,000. From July 1 of 2024 to June 30th of 2025, a full year, that skyrocketed to over 22,000. And that's the summer we went in there and cleaned up and replaced doors and spent thousands on cleaning from top to bottom. That's a lot, guys. Awful lot. So I want all of you guys that are here, active, come down when you get time and pick one of these up and read them up and send them out. Just quickly, we go through everything. Who we are, the alumni, and how we tie into this house. We actually sign a lease to this house. So that's our name on there. We're liable. We go into the keys and how the key system is set up. All the rooms. Just to give you an example, all future unreported damages to all bedrooms will be repaired with the cost being assessed to the brother living in that room. I got no reports back from anybody, so we're gonna have to revise that. Come late this semester, at the end of the semester, we will do a checkout. And all the damages will be assessed back to the chapter. I've got doors that we hung, brand new doors, that summer we cleaned it up, that have holes in them again. Now, I don't care who does it, punched in, kicked in, a member against somebody has to be responsible for damage. You can't keep paying these men to do it. We have no budget for repairs. There's nothing on that finance, you can go in there and find reset money to find for repairs. It's just not available. And for those of you that weren't familiar with what we did, take a look at those. Those are the pictures we took when we went in there in July of 2024. And that's where the spending started. Will, I was very impressed and encouraged by your report. You guys are stepping up and taking responsibility. But I want to tell you, it just takes one. one door damage, one hole in a wall, one broken window. When they don't get reported, they just keep adding up. And I understand, you don't wanna report it because nobody wants to pay for the responsible damages. That's what happened over the years, that's why we got, we had 2024. So, we've gotta start somewhere, we're gonna start assessing damages. If I have to come up here at the end of the semester, so be it. I'll do a checkout of every room in that house. And I'll get some help to do it. We've got guys that'll help me do that. We've got to have some responsibility. Enough on there. You guys read that and get back to me your response, because that's where we're gonna be. House security, real quickly, the dumpster. We've spoken to the public services, and they don't require a fence, they don't even require a dumpster, we do cans. And we talked about that, but we're gonna keep the dumpster. The plan is, we're gonna move it to the other end of the parking lot on the house. The other end of the house is more visible. It'll be hit with the exterior floodlights on that end of the house at night, and we wanna move it back off the street. Make it harder for people to walk up and throw it in there. I just went by there today and took pictures, and for Christ's sake, we got diapers on the ground. I know that's not your stuff. We got all kinds of people crashing stuff in there, throwing stuff. We've talked to the city, we've talked to, Top Tier, and they're all in agreement, we need to make a change. We can move that dumpster. I got a guy meeting this afternoon to build a fence, or quote us to build a fence for that trailer corral, to move it down the other end of the parking lot. We'll get back to you on that. Another one on security, screens. We've had issues with somebody crawling through a window. I have been trying to get storm windows replaced, and the owners tell me they do not have the funds. I'm still pushing. In the meantime, I've asked for screens to be put on the windows, partially screwed on. I wanna make it at least harder for them to crawl through the window. That'll help with the bugs and the birds and burglars too. So, we're working on that. To date, we've done a lot of improvements on the house. I won't go through that right now, but we're continuing to try to improve. I know it's a bold building, and there's a lot of issues with that, but it's the only house we've got right now. We're just gonna have to work with it, and no matter where we go, whether we purchase or build or the university builds one for us, we have to learn to take care of it. They're not gonna allow you to do those kind of damages either. We gotta be more conscientious about that. So.
Chief of Police.
Any questions?
Chief of Police.
Oh, yes, we've got a meeting, Tuesday, we're talking to the chief of police here in Carbondale to, talk to him about security, added security. And one of the things that they're going to do is they're gonna increase patrols in the area. So, you guys need to be on your keep an eye on everything. Don't confront these guys throwing trash. That's not gonna work. So we'll get back with you on what we're gonna do with that. I'm gonna try to get the owners to pay for this stuff also. Like I said, we don't have a budget for this stuff, so we'll see where we go.
And we'll be involved in that chief of police meeting.
Yes. We'll be there too. Yes, sir.
Yeah, along with the chief of police, the chief is Anthony Copel, and I talked with him via email, and he's very interested in you guys, and make sure you're safe. So he's already increased patrols, after our last email, and hopefully after Tuesday, there'll be a more substantial method of security for you guys. And then Will's gonna be in there and out. But he's a younger fella, comes highly rated, among police chiefs in the state of Illinois, and, I think something positive will come out of this.
The suggestion was made by John Lanzini here with the city that we put it down in that lower parking lot. And we talked about that. We actually had an incident where we had a dumpster drop, I think it was about a year and a half ago, when they took down the old shed in the backyard. And before the guys could even get to tearing it down, the the neighborhood filled it up with furniture. And they had to pay to dump it before they could even start the building, so it's totally out of sight down there, that's not an option. So we want the thing more visible. And we're gonna put signs up. I'm gonna find out from the police chief what the fines are for illegal dumping and things like that. So we're working on it, I want you guys to know that.
Ask about the lock. Ask about the lock.
Oh, one of the things that Republic has, one-time fee, which we'll pay for, or the owners will, is we can lock those hatches down. So only you guys can unlock it when you put your trash in. So there's gonna be more responsibility to you guys to get out there and unlock it before your trash in. But you've also gotta unlock it on the days that they're gonna. So,
What's your opinions?
I can give you an thought on that. We're working around medical facilities where we have the same issue. Your violators just throw their trash on top of the dumpster.
Yeah, that's what we were thinking too, but.
Anybody else, somebody?
You kinda covered it. We spoke amongst ourselves, about it, and we had some discussion about putting a door, and you could see the old doors that you had thrown away, we
Yeah.
had put on top of the dumpster.
Right.
That was just kinda to enclose it more. It helped because we were cleaning it anyway.
Right.
We spoke about putting a door on the enclosure and putting a, tin roof on top maybe, just to fully enclose it.
Yep.
But we quickly realized they were just gonna set their trash in front of it, and we would still have to throw it away and clean it.
Well, that's why I wanna move it to a new location, where it's more visible, put it in the light more. If we do that, that corral's gotta come down, because they're just gonna throw trash in there also. Another thing too, that you may not be aware of, that it's not just people living there, we've had construction companies, small time jobbers, come in there with their truck and just dump their construction material, lumber, plywood, drywall, whatever. And if it won't fit in there, they just pile it up against the fence. And these guys are left to clean it up, they don't have a fine in the city. We've never been fined, but they've certainly threatened many times. So, we're working on it, and we're gonna do something. What's your thought on cans instead of a dumpster? How many bags of garbage or whatever, how much trash do you guys put out there every week? Any idea?
When you talk about cans, would you be talking about like a roll-around toter?
55 gallon
With
trash can.
the roll-around wheels on it?
Yes.
I think if we did that, they're still gonna do the same thing, because it's the people who live in those apartments that are throwing it away, who don't pay for trash cans, who don't pay for a trash removal service. So that's where the issue stems from. So I don't think it matters what way we go, whether it's cans or dumpster, you're gonna get the same issue with people trying to overflow your trash.
Well, the thing with the cans though, is they're not gonna be at the curb. They're gonna be up at your house, so they're not gonna see them, they're not gonna see the can. Like you would put them on the side of your house or something, and you fill them and then you bring them down to garbage day. So that's the only difference, is they're not down at the street all the time. So I don't know how many garbage cans you would even need per week.
That's an option.
I would say at least 2, because sometimes it fills up before we have house clean, we have to take it. And then it fills up again the day of house clean, we take it again. So there's at least 3 bags a week.
They pick up every week, once a week?
Once a week, I believe.
Okay.
I believe it's every Monday.
Okay. Yes, sir.
My only concern about trash cans up against the house is that we just an invitation for them to come on our property and sold crap away.
Exactly.
Well, we're even thinking of someplace where you can't visibly see them. I mean, homeowners keep them in their garage, you don't have a garage, but is there some place that you could put them to wheel them where they're not visible? I don't know, I'm just asking if this is an option.
I don't know what, like, the plastic put together type storage bins that you can buy at Menards, Lowe's, Depot could hold 2 or 3 of those cans that have a key lock, you open, also.
The problem with that dumpster, especially the corral where it is now, that's a blind corner. You just don't notice it, you don't pay attention. It's clear at the far end where you've got a couple of bedrooms. It's not like the other end where you've got the living room, kitchen, dining area, and it's, again, more visible. So that's the idea, bring it down where it's more visible, put it in the light at night from our floodlights on the end of the building, pushing it back off the street, make them walk back farther, put some signage up, and really threaten some legal action if they, continue.
Would you also think, like, wherever we decide to put it, that if we had like a security camera within view and obviously protected so they don't try to do anything to it, having something there that would help also deter any of your neighbors to.
Somebody
put it-
suggested the ring cameras where you can talk to people. You see them?
If we do the cans, I'd say almost closer to 4, and we'd almost have to bring it inside, because even if we lock them, they're still gonna set their stuff on it. And, the camera, I don't think is gonna deter much. I don't think they care. And if they still do it, like, what are we gonna do? Can we report them? Is that gonna lead to anything?
I agree. We just need to start somewhere.
Yeah.
We're just looking for a change of some kind anyway.
I was just gonna go off that, it's like, you look at our neighbors, to be honest, people probably don't have a lot to lose, they probably just don't care.
Well, exactly. Today I noticed that every house out there, even the ones next door across the street, they all have dumpsters everywhere. There are dumpsters inside corrals all up and down that street. Why they choose to bring it in, it makes me think it's maybe people outside of that street neighborhood that are driving their garbage off. So, we're gonna make it harder for them anyway.
I've personally watched, I was the one that confronted the guy.
Yeah.
I personally watched a lot of them just walk straight out their house.
Yeah.
That apartment right across the street, walk
Yes.
straight out with their morning garbage and whatever, just walk over and put it in. I think most of it is coming from that apartment across the street. The guy that threatened, he walked down that hill and turned right. He lived right down there.
So what did he do in the summertime when you guys aren't living there? What did he do?
Same thing.
Can he approach the owner of that apartment?
Or
Do
right
they have a
away.
garbage dump?
Across the street?
Yeah.
That's something I think maybe the authorities can look into and talk to them.
They get their own,
They're supposed to, exactly, yeah.
If we, yeah, that's why I wanted to get Chief Copeland involved, cause if we talk to him, it's like, yeah, sure, fine, whatever. If police car comes up and says, hey, owner, or the city attorney, we get the city attorney involved, and goes to the owner of those and says, look, this is a problem, these are college students are providing income to our community and trying to do the right thing, they'll have a lot more clout than we will.
I've gotta believe that most people, even living across the street, you know how turnover happens every year, different people. I gotta believe most of the people don't realize that's not a community dumpster. The first time I pulled up there to go work on the houses here in 2024 that summer, I watched a man walking out of the building across the street and walked across and threw it in there. I didn't think a thing of it. It looks like a community dumpster on the street like it is. So, I didn't know either, and I think a lot of people are not told that it is a private dumpster. So we need to just make a change and put some signs up and, see what will happen. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so just looking on Onyx, the same landlord that owns our house owns the property across the
Does
street.
he really?
Well, who knows, they might have told him, oh, that.
Well, yeah, maybe it's supposed to be for both of us.
We'll find that out. I will figure it out, yeah. The top tier has never told me that. Hours only.
So do we pay for that dumpster? Are we the ones paying
Part
for
of our
that
lease.
dumpster?
Part of our lease.
Okay.
Mhm.
So if it's part of our lease, I guess we need to, as the alumni, we need to find out if that is part of the lease across the road as well.
Good question.
And find out who else top tier owns around that maybe they're telling them to put in that dumpster knowing that we're paying for it and don't really care.
Well, I think if we put some signs up, no illegal dumping, fines, again, we'll find out what the penalties get be for fines. We're just asking for ideas here, but we need to start somewhere.
And part of the problem is the city is threatening fines on the guys in the house.
Well,
So,
they did that when I was there.
Yeah.
We had the city guy come out and walk through the yard, and I actually walked around the yard with him and said, hey, we're not the ones putting this here, it's the people next door, it's people across the street. And then all of a sudden, we stopped getting letters about getting fined for that, and now it seems like they've started that up again. Which my guess is it's another new person in the city who's in charge now.
But we're gonna ask some questions, and, we're gonna get touched if we need to. So, anybody else got any ideas? My thought is that far parking spot at the other end of the parking lot, it is paved, that's all they require. The city will require a fence and again, I'm meeting you guys this afternoon to talk about the building fence for. He's the same guy that's come in and done repairs in the house many times. And speaking of repairs, he's the one that hung that door on the kitchen and panel room, just a while back. I never heard that he didn't put a lock on that or a latch on that door, gentlemen. I need to be informed. That job is not done. He didn't put a latch on that door, you know. So, somebody's gotta get back to me so we can get the job done. It's not complete. I need eyes in the house to call me.
And we need to hear of any instance that happens between you and someone breaking in. This is not something you can just keep a secret. You've got to let us know. Let me know. I mean, this is serious.
Yep. All of us working together, we're gonna take all these things on. Because, yeah, safety is a big issue.
And from a safety aspect, we don't know. We can't get the police chief involved, we can't get the city attorney involved, we can't get the city structure to help make you guys' life easier, if we don't know this is going on.
We have got our hands full trying to get anything out of our owners. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where we'll stand after the end of our 2-year lease. We've got 2 years left. Something tells me that it's gonna change. They're not gonna even keep the buildings, and I don't know. A lot of properties are going up for sale around there because of the tax structure now, people are unloading more properties. So, we just gotta make the best of what we got for now. So, stick with us. Keep us informed.
Just so everybody knows, the transparency, our owners have Top Tier as our management company, and the owners are incorporated under a really wild name in Arizona, but yet they live in Michigan. And there's like 3 levels of hierarchy that they've insulated themselves with. So they're a very interesting group of folks that track out.
Just fact, those pictures were taken before we went in and started cleaning. That was after summer meeting in July of 2024. We got in there within the next week or two and worked top to bottom, cleaned up the place, my person replaced 16 doors, all in I spent a whole week up there. And 2 weeks, I think a week later, I get a kind of a panic call from Brian at Top Tier. The owners were coming through and they wanted to take a walk through that house. 3 weeks earlier, I had no doubt we would have evicted if they seen that they were cleaned up.
They have never seen the house before they bought these properties. And they bought these in packages of 3 to 5 back out of the title. Guys.
Hey, can I just insert something here real quick? That summer of 24 when we cleaned out the house, I don't know if any of you know this, but I took home all those university banners, and my wife personally scraped and cleaned all the years of dry beer off of those things. I washed them all up the best we could, and we put them in those frames. And when we seen the picture, and I showed her those pictures, she was really happy that you guys hung those up and are displaying them and everything. So I just wanna say kudos, they look great going up down that step. So she's happy, so if you get to see her tonight, she'll probably tell you that. It was a work in progress, we'll even say what we could, so.
Spend your time looking those over, but get them back to me when you can. Thank you, guys.
Can I say something real quick?
Yes, sir.
So I was here, let's see, I graduated just over 3 years ago. When I showed up in that house, every single one of those guys who was older than me wanted nothing to do with the alumni. What you guys need to realize is how invested all of these guys in here are in every single one of you. These guys are putting their time and their money to take care of you guys. They could give 2 shits about you. They don't have to do a single thing for you. So the fact that Chuck spent time to make these papers up and give them all to you, and that nobody gave him a single one back is embarrassing. Like, why? All these guys do is put in their time and effort to do things for you. So give them back some respect and do some things back for them. You guys wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all them. Jake Rendelman talks about being in Leah. If he wasn't here, none of you would be here.
Al makes a very good point. The day's coming when we're not gonna wanna do this anymore either. So, we've got a huge gap between this age group and yourselves. There's a big gap in between. I don't see the actives or the alumni coming back up for anything, so. We need to work together to get this accomplished. Thank you, guys.
Okay, we're on to foundations, Al.
Just real quickly, I don't have a lot, but we do have money, for those of you that may not know, we do have money in our SIU Foundation, which helps fund the scholarships for the outstanding sophomore and junior. That was awarded last night at CALPS. And originally, when we started that fund in about 2018 or 2019, we needed about $25,000 in that fund every year in order to help fund those two scholarships. And we have reached that goal. We're a little over 30,000 in that fund right now. And so that's really by the good graces of alumni and others that have donated into that to make that happen. So certainly appreciate that. And potentially, if we grow that fund a little bit, we could grow those scholarships along with that. But the next level is gonna be 50,000, I suppose, before we can actually, grow that to the next level. But at least keep that in mind, and that, again, is an active fund that we do have. The other fund that we, yes?
How much was contributed to that fund this year?
I don't think I could tell you that exactly, Jake. I think that there was several $1,000s that was put into that fund this year, but I can't tell you the exact amount.
I know when that was, the day of sharing, that was one of the areas that you could contribute to.
Right.
I know I put some money in on that, and I just wondered how much it's grown to. Of course, I know the stock market varies, why that varies too, but anyway.
It's been harder for me to get information on all of that from the SIU fund. It's just been difficult to get that information.
It's 30-some thousand?
Consistently, yeah, it's a little over 30,000 now. I wish that would be a little smoother, but it's not. I mean, I used to have the same issue with the AGR fund, between, I think, myself and a number of others that maybe complain loud enough, but that system has been improved considerably over the last year, especially. And the AGR fund, we started that about the same time, and our goal was, at that time, to be able to give at least 1 to 2 scholarships to strictly the active chapter. It's not open to anyone else. And, but again, it takes about $25,000 increments in order to give $1,000 scholarship. And we were very fortunate that we very quickly got to that $50,000 level in the AGR Educational Foundation. Now, since we have gotten to that $50,000 level, it's gotten a little slower. We haven't quite got to the $75,000 level, and so we don't quite have enough to fund all 3 scholarships that we're giving this year, but I will have a proposal later in under new business to kind of rectify that situation, at least for this year. So just to get everybody thinking about that, certainly please contribute to that fund. Think about that. I know all of you get flyers in the mail all the time for things to donate to, but if you're thinking about targeting funds, certainly that's a fund that would really need just a little bit of help to get us to that next level consistently, to be able to fund all of our scholarships.
How much do you have in it now?
We actually have a little over 60,000. According to the last numbers that I have as of the end of December, we have about $65,000 in it. Some of that, amount, of course, there's a spendable amount that they allow. So, at any rate, it's growing. It's just not you know, hasn't grown quite as fast in the last couple of years as it did prior to that.
So we need $10,000 to $15,000.
Right, to consistently be able to fund our 3 scholarships, which we really wanna fund.
Now, the AGR ones, we can control where that goes to, and can go just to our members. The SIU, it doesn't have to go college-wide.
Correct. College-wide, the SIU Foundation, that has to be open to all the students in CALPS. And with the AGR fund, Educational Foundation, that goes strictly to the guys in the chapter. And so, again, as we talk about this a little bit later, you know, it's up to you guys. Those scholarship applications, you know, that stuff is not literature. It's $1,000 that goes straight to you. You're supposed to use it on education, but it goes straight into your pocket. So for the guys that have gotten it, and I know several here that have already gotten that scholarship award, it's a great bonus. All you have to do is apply. And, you know, I'm gonna put my plug in, we need more applications. You know, I'd like to be flooded with applications. And so, that's something next year, you know, please look to doing that, because that's a real bonus to guys just in the house. So, percentage-wise, if you've got 30 actives and we're giving 3 scholarships, you know, that's a pretty high percentage of your entire house.
Wouldn't hurt your resume either.
No,
That's what I was gonna say.
not at all.
Or good for your resume.
Not at all. Any other questions about foundations or staff?
Al, we always say this every year, but we all get the mailings from the National AGR Educational Foundation 3 or 4 or 5 times a year. You can use that and send it back, and my understanding is as long as you put on there for Beta Alpha Scholarship,
Yep.
it'll get into our fund.
That's correct. Right.
Is that correct?
Yep.
Nick has a question, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna follow up on that. You may or may not know, but, you know, my wife and I set up an endowment there. And we had the $25,000 endowment, so we set it up. We dictated 500 for Sigma Alpha, 500 for AGR. So that's, to get to the same point we was just talking about, there's 4 scholarship opportunities for the actives right there, as long as y'all, take advantage of it. So I just wanted to make sure the actives know, like, that's another scholarship opportunity.
Oh, that's great.
Right, and we have that on the website as well, under scholarships.
I made multiple notes of that this semester, or not this semester, but at the end of last semester, in winter break, made multiple notes of all the scholarships that could be applied to us.
Okay.
Just in general, and our scholarships.
Okay. Thanks, Nick.
Okay, good.
All right. Thanks, Al.
Yep.
Thank you.
Next up is Taj. Do you want to say something on the alumni dues?
If I can get off mute, yep. Appreciate everybody participating in alumni dues. For those that do, I would say that you have kept the Alumni Corporation functioning for the last 18 years, so appreciate all of you that send in dues. That being said, have collected 91 dues checks or dues donations so far this year, and I looked to last year, 2025, we had 92, so we're close to surpass what we had last year, but certainly use more participation from all of you. Our current balance is $7,643.66. Any questions? Otherwise, that's my report. Thank you.
Thanks, Ted. Okay, on to old business, summer meeting 2026. Randy?
On behalf of Glenn Cook and myself, we'd like to invite you to Mount Sterling, Illinois, which is about 30 miles east of Quincy. Glenn and I have kind of got together and started putting some things together. It's going to be July 24th and 25th, I believe. That last full weekend is when it always is, correct, Rick?
Correct.
That last full weekend. Mount Sterling's a town of about, probably 3,000 or 4,000 on a good day, but one of the main things we're going to do is, Glenn's got good contact. I don't know if any of you ever heard of a company called Dot Foods.
Yep.
They're the largest food redistributor in the United States and worldwide. Glenn's got some contacts there. I do too. Seeing about getting the tours of their facility. The technology that is at Dot Foods is unbelievable. To the point we used to cater there, and they could get their productivity down, that they would have to increase productivity before we would serve a meal, because they knew the guys would overeat and their productivity went down. They have it down to a science. I mean, it's unbelievable. If you ever see a white semi tractor with a white box that says DTI on it, they're all over the United States. That's Dot Foods. They're based out of Mount Sterling. We're going to put together in Mount Sterling, the Tracy family that owns Dot Foods has revitalized the downtown. There's a lot of boutiques, shops. We've got a place, Glenn's lining up for dinner on Saturday night. They've got a banquet facility there. And then probably what we'll do is have our meeting on Saturday morning, or Saturday sometime, there at either the YMCA or at one of Dot Foods' facilities. And then they're gonna have a half-ass caterer come in and cater probably on Saturday, you know, so good luck with that. But I'd like to invite you all, as Glenn and I kind of get everything put together. Like I said, there's a golf course there if anybody's interested in golfing. We're gonna put together some activities, but we'd sure like to have you, and but it's gonna be in Mount Sterling this year, so.
Thanks, Randy.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We don't have to tip the caterer.
Do what?
We don't have to tip the caterer, do we?
If Marla's doing it, you will, yes.
Randy, you got motels around there?
Yes, there's a motel there in Mount Sterling, kind of a smaller hotel owned by the Tracy family. That's been redone. It's a I've never been in it. Glenn has. Very nice, and he's able, the rooms are all open that weekend, so he's gonna reserve a block of rooms and stuff. But everything's gonna be within just short driving distance all around Mount Sterling there. So. Yeah, hotels, you don't have to stay in Quincy or anything like that. There'll be hotels there in Mount Sterling.
Okay, just so you know, we get registrations of about 17 to 19, maybe 20 on a good year. And if the population's 3,000, let's try to make it 3,050 this year.
All right, let's go on to new business. We've got some elections that we need to do. We've got 2 board members that are leaving us. The 2 are, Rick, it's
Oh, boy.
Kevin Miller.
Kevin Miller and Eric Kunzman.
Kevin and Eric.
Kevin and Eric, we want to thank them for their time over the last 3 years. We had a nominating committee that got together, and we have come up with 2 names to bring to the membership, and that is Zach Kempworth and Roger Carr. We would like to have nominated for the 2 3-year directors positions. We also understand that if there's any nominations from the floor, we'd like to accept nominations from the floor as well. Riley, you had your hand up?
I'd like to also nominate Braden Baldoff. He
Okay.
graduated, he typed me up a thing to read. I can read that now, or I can wait till we get the other nominations.
Okay, let's wait and.
I'd also like to nominate Dave St. Germain,
Okay,
based on his work showing up here in summer meeting and St. Fest that is involved with the chapter.
okay, any other nominations from the floor? Okay, so we have 4 nominations from the floor for 2 directors' positions. So, how do we want to, have them say something?
Yeah, I'd say have them say something and then we can do it.
Okay, and then have them go off and then vote, okay. So, how do we wanna work this,
Have Riley read Brandon's first.
Brandon's first.
Alright, I'll read Braden's first.
Braden's first.
He said, "Hello, my name is Braden Baldoff, and I'm eager to contribute to the alumni board. I graduated last May with a degree in Ag Systems and Tech Management, which has equipped him with a strong foundation in strategic planning and operational efficiency. He's been working in Dallas-Fort Worth since last June as an equipment engineer for Hewitt. It's a big construction company down there. In this role, he is responsible for planning and scheduling routine maintenance for all company-owned machines, optimizing their performance and minimizing downtime. His experience in AGR have honed his skills in project management, resource allocation, and problem solving, which he believes are highly transferable to the responsibilities of a board member. He is driven by his desire to give back to the fraternity that played a significant role in his professional and personal development during undergrad. He's committed to supporting current members and promoting the values and traditions that make our fraternity unique. He is very confident that his skills, experiences, and dedication make him a strong candidate for the alumni board."
Thank you, Riley. Okay, David, you wanna?
Jeez, we got formal all of us.
Yeah.
I'll tell you. Hold on. I'm not as young and spry as you guys. Well, told you before, my name's Dave St. Germain, everybody calls me Saint. PIN number's 297, I'm from Cherry Valley, Illinois. I came down here as a freshman back in 1981, and I graduated in 1985, so yes, I'm on the 5-year program. I have a degree in animal industries and a degree in European studies. After graduation, I spent about 3 months working as civilian services with the United States Navy. Really didn't care for that. Bebopped around a couple other jobs. I went back to the family farm, almost lost that because I had to buy basically everything from scratch. And you're doing that, I just was running out of money, plus I was doing a dairy herd, so. My father passed away and, let's see, when did he pass away? Well, he passed away a couple years after graduation, and I ended up having to get a job right away. I went to work for AT&T, worked for them, started at the bottom, worked my way up the corporate ladder. I became an executive for the last 7 years with AT&T until I retired. Left there, went to work for Frontier because, well, they made me an offer I couldn't refuse. They had a layoff, I volunteered to leave so one of the younger guys could get a job. I didn't need it, I had the money. Drove my wife nuts for 3 months, and she said, get back to work. I got a call from AT&T, come back and retake over my old position. Once again, it was an offer I couldn't refuse. So that's where I'm at. For the last 12 years, well, ever since graduation, a bunch of us have always hung out. Dave Meadford, Bob Lane, Dave Beckview, Harley and stuff. We've all kind of got together. 12 years ago, we decided to make it official and we called it Saint Fest. We average between 20 to 50 alumni associates there. Occasionally we get actors from other fraternity, or from AGRs from other colleges, because we're up, U of I and Illinois State are closer to us and they're in that area, so they'll come on up to the party. Last year we didn't do it because, well, we were hosting a summer meeting. So, but this year it's back on, it's usually over Labor Day weekend, and everybody's invited. We provide food, usually a horse trough full of cold beer, big bonfire, and younger guys stay up until 1, 2 o'clock. Us older guys usually, well, we've been trying to make it to midnight, but usually 10 o'clock we're all out. Love you guys. This fraternity has been such a big part of my life, and most of these guys here that are alumni, I've known for the 5 years I was in school, or I got to know, and every one of them, if I had a problem or emergency, something life-threatening, I could call any one of them, and they would be there as fast as they could. I don't have to talk to them for years. I can call Harley and say, hey, dude, the house is on fire, I'm gonna lose the house, the farm, or whatever, can you get your butt down here to help? He'd be there within 2 hours, and I'll guarantee that. just like you guys, you call me and say, hey, Saint, I'm an AGR, I need your help. I'm over in Lena, Illinois, or up north, can you come help me? I'll be there for you. Within a couple hours, wherever you live, I'll be there. So, you wanna elect me for, the board? Be my guest, if not, I'm not hurt, I'm always volunteering, I'm always there to help, so, thank you very much.
Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, David.
Anybody out front?
You may.
Oh. Let's see if my legs work. My legs don't work as well, but my mind does.
That's kinda scary.
It is, yeah. Stop getting old. One is that, I'd like to say I'm honored and humbled to be asked. We all have a story, don't we? We all got a story. And I'm gonna show you my story a little bit. And, I was told this morning I had to give a speech, so I wrote down a few things here. Before I teach, so I think a speech is, I'll try to keep it under an hour. Is that, A, I'm honored, and, I wanna tell you guys why I drive 6 hours here. Okay? When I was in high school, freshman high school, my guidance counselor told me that I was not college worthy. So, I went to Blackhawk East, right? And, some life stuff doesn't teach. And Dan Hogue would bring us down to all kinds of contests, we came to Southern Illinois. I don't remember the classes at all, but I do remember a couple things. I remember that when we left Northern Illinois, it was cold. When we came here, it was warm. I remember that. And I do remember, after the judging contest, visiting the AGR house. And they had one big ass party for us. And I'm telling you what, I said, I like this place. And then I started talking to people and they said, my ag classes at Blackhawk East would transfer through Capstone for here. And there's about 12 of us Blackhawk kids said, sign us up. And we go 6 hours. And we're in that house, I bet there was a third of us were JUCOs. And we all did Capstone program, And so the moral of the story is I don't know how many people could get in the University of Illinois. I could. So why do I drive 6 hours? Because without this house and this campus, garage your car, I don't know what I'd be doing, but I wouldn't be teaching 40 years. Because you guys provide me an opportunity. My job, I think all our job is to give back that same opportunity. Just a couple other thoughts. I learned some skills. I learned skills, a few in class, but the main skills I learned was in that house. I learned from my brothers how to dream, how to take risks, lots of different things. I learned way more from my brothers in that house than out of class. That's just the way it is. And I'm very thankful for that. Just 2 things I've done, teaching wise, I can give you all things I've accomplished in 2 years. It's a lot of my alliances I've built in life. But 2 things I will share. I was the advisor for 3 years at Purdue University at the AGR house, 90 kids in that house. And so I have a little bit of experience there. I was in high school ed teaching for 39 years. And I can give you a whole list of accomplishments, but one I don't share off, but I need to, is I counted up their day, I sent 40 of my high school students to AGR house. 1 farmhouse, and he wasn't worthy of AGR, so we sent him. We didn't have to do it. So I'm very proud of AGR. I want to give back. I can promise you 3 things, and that's it. 1, I will care. I will care. And, I think I have a vision. I relate to students. I got that connection still. I do care. If not elected, I'm still coming back. I'm gonna keep on doing the same thing I've been doing, and it won't change me at all. And the last thing to the actives, I've come back down here, since retirement, I've retired 3 times. I come down almost every year. By far, the actives are the most impressive this year that I've ever seen. And someone taught them how to give handshakes and greet people. That's impressive. And talking to people, and I wish I had 3.5 million to donate to you guys, okay? I don't.
But at 2 o'clock, Smiley and I are gonna be at PK's, okay? And you don't need money, do they? No, we'll take care of it. Come share with us, we won't get drunk, we gotta get ready for tonight. But if you've got any concerns like that, come see us. I can't give you 3.5, but I can give you 3. See ya.
John Knapp wondered who that was. John wondered who that was speaking.
Don, that was Roger Carr speaking. Before, Zach, I'm sorry, I just have to interrupt one. I have to talk to Mike. Do you have Brenda Reedy's text? Do you have
Which
her,
text do you
phone?
want?
Do you have her phone?
Yeah.
Can you text her and tell her we're running a little late?
Okay.
You will text her as soon as we're ready.
Okay.
To log in.
Gladly.
It won't be too much longer, but I didn't want her to just wait on hold until.
Okay.
Sorry. Okay, Zach,
I can come down to the front too, that way
Perfect.
everybody can see me, hear me. I'm not gonna keep you guys back from lunch too far, so, just a little bit about myself. I'm Zach Campworth, I'm from Carlisle, Illinois, just a little bit north of Bartelzo. Me and my family run a 150 sow farrow to finish hog operation, and then 1,200 acres of row crop, corn, wheat, beans. I graduated in May with a degree in ag economics with a minor in plant and soil sciences. I graduated with an associate's degree from Kaskaskia College 2 years before that, farm business management, crop science, and animal science. One thing I did have to say, the KC-SIU connection is real, it's cool. Roger, the JUCO stories are awesome. I'm really a big proponent of that, and we've got a couple guys here that went to JUCO to SIU to AGR route, and I'm pretty proud of that myself. So anyway, just a little bit about myself, why I'm running for this. I feel like our fraternity is kind of at a turning point here, where we can all agree that I think we're headed in a good direction, in the right direction. We can also agree that we've got some things we need to work on, some things we need to get better at, especially the housing situation. And I think that the less friction, the more transparency, and the more communication we can have between the alumni and the actives, the better. And that's how we're gonna kind of get through this thing. That's how we're gonna make this thing work. And the only way to do that is to get together in times like these and just get together and hammer stuff out and work on it, because that's what people in ag do. We just get stuff done, you know. So really that's kind of all I have to say about myself. I'm super proud of these actives. We've done a lot with the cards we got dealt, but there's still more to work on. And I just really want to say thanks to everyone here for caring enough to, you know, take off from work early on Friday, come to the ag banquet, come here today. I know that obviously we don't all have the same opinions about some things, but I can tell that we all care enough to be here and to work on things. So thank you, appreciate it.
Thanks, Zach.
Yeah, I think everybody's back.
Okay, so the votes were taken, and Roger and Zach are our two new board members.
Freedom to bug you.
Okay, last thing on the agenda before we get into the scholarships is the approval of the bylaws. We sent out, I put on an email with a link to them, and we've also included them in the packet, the new bylaws for the alumni, and we would like to vote on them today. I hope everyone has reviewed them. Are there any questions?
Let me just share a comment.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, all right, these have been circulated through the board, and several people have looked through them and edited them, and lots of good changes were made. I would mention that part of the new bylaws for the Alumni Association is incorporated by addendum the bylaws of the Education Foundation. So that is a part of the overall bylaws that you're voting on, is the bylaws of the Education Foundation incorporated in and with the bylaws of the Alumni Association. So if there's any questions, yeah.
I would move that the bylaws be accepted as written in the packet with the addendum.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who's second? Dave?
Okay, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay? Bylaws have passed.
Thank you for not reading them.
Thank you. Is there any other new business?
Yes.
Okay. Al?
There's a couple of things that, we need motions on, and they're really kind of house cleaning issues, but, they're things that officially we have to do if we're gonna move forward with some of these things. The first motion, concerns, the Alpha Gamma Rho Educational Foundation. Currently, we have two funds in that foundation. We have a scholarship fund, and we also have a housing fund. The housing fund goes back many, many years, when we first thought that was gonna be the venue that we needed to collect donations for that housing, to build a new house. There's only $1,250 sitting in that fund, and, the thought is that since, we now have an educational foundation within our alumni association, of which we'll be able to also, collect funds for housing, that the need for that particular fund in the educational foundation of AGR really doesn't exist anymore. But we can't, I mean, I've talked to the director, at the educational foundation. We can't move that money from there into the scholarship fund unless we have a motion, from our body that says that it's okay to do that. Because otherwise, willy-nilly, they just, we just can't do that. So, the motion that I have to propose is to move the funds from the Beta Alpha Housing Fund in the Educational Foundation of Alpha Gamma Rho into the Beta Alpha Alumni Scholarship Fund in the Educational Foundation of Alpha Gamma Rho. The fund currently has $1,250.
I'll second that motion.
Who, did somebody make the motion first?
He did.
I did.
You did, okay, and then you're second. All right.
So Al, to be clear, the Educational Foundation of Alpha Gamma Rho retains the funds, it's just moving from one account to this account that you're proposing?
Yes, we'll close the housing fund and move that $1,250 into our scholarship fund.
Have you, well, is that the fund that Ron Brohammer oversees as treasurer?
Well, he doesn't oversee it, he's a treasurer for that.
Yeah.
For that?
Yeah, he's a
Have we talked to them about what we wanna do here?
Yeah, oh yeah. But we have to have this motion in order
Yeah, no,
to do it.
I appreciate that, but.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, this is the fund with
AGR.
AGR. right?
AGR, yeah.
It's just flipping right there.
So that raises that.
It raises the amount in our scholarship fund by $1,250.
Great.
Alright. So that doesn't.
And will we just will we ask the Educational Foundation to close the housing fund, so that's not a dangling
Correct.
thing out there?
Yep.
Well, I understand that Nashville wasn't helping with any housing anymore.
They don't.
They don't,
So,
no.
that's,
No.
No, we were limited on what you could spend that for anyway. You can't
Really
spend it on
limited.
brick and mortar.
You
It's
bet.
Certain things.
Yeah.
You bet.
Any other discussion? Call for a vote, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion passes.
Okay, good. The second motion, is, again, as I talked a little bit about earlier, we may be a little bit short of funds in our, educational foundation to fund our third scholarship that we're gonna give away today. We talked about this last year, that the Alumni Association would help make up the difference in the funds, if we were a little bit short. And again, I'm gonna need a motion in order to do this, but in the conversation that I've had with the Educational Foundation, they will, in order to fully fund the scholarship that they hand out, they can dip into our endowment fund for the few $100s that it's gonna take. But we just need to agree as an alumni association that we're willing to fund that money back into the endowment fund. So what I need out of all this, again, is a motion that allows us to do that, allows the Educational Foundation to fully fund the scholarships, and that we're agreeing that we're gonna put the money back in.
I'm sure,
And I think, I don't know the exact dollar amount, it's somewhere between, which is kinda weird, somewhere between $730 or $700 and $30. We have a little bit of discrepancy of what that exact number is, but Carol assured me that we would get all this sorted out. It's not a lot of money, but, you know, again, that's just something we can get figured out.
Why don't we make the motion and get a second, and then we can discuss?
Yep. So for 2026, we will direct the Educational Foundation of Alpha Gamma Rho to use any monies necessary for the principal of our endowment scholarship fund to pay for all 3 of our scholarships this year. Beta Alpha Alumni Association will reimburse our scholarship fund in the Educational Foundation of Alpha Gamma Rho up to the amount withdrawn from the principal. And we may need up to about $700. That's the approximate amount.
Is there a second?
Second.
Who got a second? Who? Oh.
All right, any
Any
discussion?
questions about
So,
that?
so the way that motion was written was that, that's just for this year.
That's just for
And
this
so we will
year.
have to revisit this each year if we're short to make that motion.
That's correct.
Either that or contribute more money.
Yeah. If we get the fund up there, we won't need it.
Give him 15,000, we'll do
Yeah.
Richard,
Yeah.
I got a point of information. The National AGR can't tell us how much money is in a fund they oversee. What the heck is going on?
Well, I have the amount, but when I was talking with Carol, what she told me the spendable amount was, and the amount that I was getting off of the website were 2 different amounts. And I told her, I said, I'm not sure what the difference is, and she wasn't in her office. She said, well, I don't know, well, we'll clarify all of this before all of this happens. So I apologize that we have this range of numbers, but it looks to me like there's only about $30 difference. But I don't wanna say that, and then it turns out to be a little more than that.
Can we just direct that to be saying it comes out of the operations account to be reimbursed, to reimburse that?
We can, I think that needs to be a separate motion.
Okay.
Yeah.
So just the back of the envelope calculation, if we've got 60,000 plus, and endowments operate on a 4% or so withdrawal projection, so that's $2,400, so we're talking maybe 600 at most?
Yeah.
Al, your motion was to have it paid by the Alumni Association. If I send $100 in tomorrow to that Educational Foundation for that fund, can that go towards paying that off then?
No.
Yeah, I think that's the principle.
Unless we need to specifically identify that $100 was to reimburse the.
That's right, the 100's just gonna get the.
Yeah, otherwise, otherwise it just goes into the fund.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm thinking of the.
You gotta donate 50,000.
Yeah, 600 about that .04. Yeah.
Well, the reason I asked how much it was, if it'd be simpler, I'll donate a couple $100 towards it. Avoid all this, if other people want to.
Still have to have the motion.
Yeah, we still have to have a motion, so.
Yeah, it's a
Well,
legal point.
It's just a legal, and again, this is to make sure that
I move we stop discussion and vote.
Yep.
Okay, it's on Al's motion to dip into principal, that's what you're voting on now.
Yeah. it's
Okay,
second.
all in-
Let's vote on it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Okay, motion passes.
Now, the second motion, take it out of the operation,
Yeah.
and let's have it done. We
Reimburse
can
the
handle
fund
that,
from the
we can
op-
handle that.
Reimburse the fund from the operations.
Motion?
Yes.
Miller.
Second.
Second,
Second.
Riley,
Thank you, Riley.
discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay.
I'll just-
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
We'll get that squared away.
Okay, any other new business?
Well, to follow that up, so
Yeah.
that $700, that probably wasn't budgeted in our alumni association budget, so if somebody wants to make a donation towards that, they can write a check to the educational foundation or just to the alumni association to kind of help offset the alumni association paying that dollar.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody get that? All right, any other new business?
I just wanna, this doesn't have to be voted on today or anything, just something to think about. Last year, I brought up the notion to make this Matt Reedy Memorial Forestry Scholarship, and I appreciate everybody who voted for that and that we can present that today. I think our outstanding junior and outstanding senior, scholarships should probably be, a memorial type scholarship also. And, I've got a few names in mind, and I don't know if maybe we can send out one of those emails saying, if you have a alumni that, you'd like to name these scholarships after, and we can go forward from there. And I just wanted to bring that out to the floor and, see if anybody's interested in something like that.
Okay, sounds good. All right, we're kind of running a little late here. Is there, if there's no other new business?
Hey, Rick?
Yes, I'm sorry, thank you. Who's
Yeah,
that?
I would like to move that we, form a fundraising committee, to be appointed by the board.
For what?
For what?
So the question is for what, Ted?
Well, the answer to that is regardless whether we go forward with a university house or a new house or a purchased renovated property, we're gonna have to raise money. And I think we need a fundraising committee started to look at that.
Don't we already have that?
Is there a second? Is a motion?
No, we got.
Do we need a second?
Yeah, you need to. He's making a motion.
Yeah, who seconded? Riley.
So,
Discussion?
I thought, through the foundation, don't we have that committee working right now?
Well, the
Through
SAU Foundation is working on a fundraising campaign.
In our behalf.
In our
sir.
behalf.
That's what.
Correct, correct,
We
correct.
do not
Yes.
have
Our own.
our own.
We don't have our own.
And you've got.
We don't have our own, and I would like to see us have our own, and we can, if it does go forward, that we work with the foundation, but regardless, we're gonna need a committee to be working on fundraising. And I go back to the committees that we formed, goodness, Rick, you'd have to help me, probably around 2000, and one of those was fundraising. We have some of the other ones already on board. We have the housing committee, we have the finance committee, and just think the fundraising committee is one that we're missing.
That's true.
So this would become a standing committee that would be a permanent committee on the board, okay?
Okay, yes, Paul?
Yeah, this has been moved and seconded, right?
It has been moved and seconded, but yes.
I would like to table this until summer meeting, because appointed by the board, I have a problem with. We've had 2 appointed by the board run and failed as far as fundraising and housing and so on. We need to think about this before we have another standing committee. We need to put this back, because everybody wants to have money, everybody wants this, but nobody had a plan. The only committee that so far has gone down this path, but the housing committee had a complete design of the house, specs of the house, and never had that part of the issue added to it. And we have fundraisers and so on. I think this committee, if you're gonna have one, needs to be open and approved just like a board member. the board should not appoint this committee and pick its members.
Make the motion to table it.
It's a motion to table it until summer meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Who seconded?
I did.
Mike seconded. Call for a vote?
I would just say that I agree with Paul. I'm fine with that. I just think we need to look at it, but I think his point of being voted on, it's perfectly fine. I'm okay with it. I just think that we need to get it in motion.
It's tabled until summer meeting.
I'm lost.
So
So
approval.
we're voting on the tabling?
Table.
Is that-
Voting on the table.
Okay, thank you. So all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay?
Motion's
Okay,
tabled.
motion's tabled until summer meeting. Okay, Steve?
Rick, I have a question, just point of information. The SIU Foundation, the fundraising, my understanding on that is the way we started that last year to raise money to offset, to come up with roughly $2 million to put in an escrow account in order, or an endowed fund, in order to offset the rent that the brothers would pay in the
Correct.
house. That's my understanding, the only fundraising that the foundation has been set up to do.
Correct.
That's
That's correct.
That's
That is correct. Chuck?
I'd like to also add, any fundraising to buy or build our own is a different animal altogether.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yes. And a whole new.
Well, can we make this fundraising like a slush fund? I mean, is there any problem where we need something for the house?
No.
No, you can't do it that way?
No. That's it.
I don't think.
Accountants say no.
Yeah, I'm not an accountant,
Yeah.
but I would think you could just make one big slush fund, so like, you wanna buy garbage cans for these guys, you wanna buy the garbage cans and
Is
stuff
this-
like that, so.
Talking about, I mean, you make a donation to be tax deductible, it's gotta go through the foundation, doesn't
Gotta
it?
go through,
Exactly.
yeah.
And we now have three. We have the SIU, we have the AGR, and we have our own.
We have our own.
So either ours or SIU's, right? And they're both tax deductible.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other new business?
I think the point on this is to get the ball rolling, because we've been talking about fundraising for 20 years, and we haven't moved forward, so
Okay.
we need to start collecting checks or commitments.
I think the idea, of course, this one is the big fundraising for a house. Rick, you've done some special things that we would need 5,000 for home improvements. I think that can go on as an ad hoc thing as needed,
Right.
you know, separate from this.
Correct, correct. Okay, yes. Chuck?
Let me add that drawings, that we put together for a new house there in Greek Row, we did that with the intention of showing members what we're talking about. So that they're more tuned to donate when they actually see where the money's going. So.
Okay. All right, thanks. Any other new business? Yes.
Guys, I can remember 25 years ago, we bought the house south of town, or the building south of town, and we were gonna remodel it and make it a fraternity house. And since then, we've changed directions, and these guys are living in a building that, oh my God, I was in there 3 years ago, and I've dozed buildings that were in better shape than what that one is. Sorry, guys. But, you know, it's high time. We've gotta do something here. The, university, do I honestly think that they're gonna get, you know, we're gonna be in a house on campus in 5 years? No. I don't think they're gonna do it. I think they're gonna feed us along. I can remember as an active sitting in the old kitchen at these meetings, and, yeah, the university wants us for one reason. And once we realize that, then we're gonna realize that we should've went out on our own. I think we need to, I think we really need to think about if we wanna be with them or without them. But 5 years is a long time. That house, there's no way the guys can stay there for 5 years. I don't think so.
I don't think
We
they're
don't
gonna
want
stay there
that.
past next year.
But where do they go? Cause the rest of the houses that are available are in about the same shape.
Well, those
So-
are, we're talking about short term is, we put possibly like a floor on Thompson Point or something at this point. As an interim, and nothing, just some place for them to go, but you're right.
You know, looking back, hindsight's 20/20. I've been down that road once or twice already in my life. But boy, we should have worked on that one south on 51 more, because we wouldn't be having all these discussions and kicking a can like we are. So let's just get done kicking a can is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Chuck.
I'm gonna mention right now that Rick and Paul and I, two years ago now, we met with John Lanzini, who is the manager for the city of Carbondale for planning. And at that point, he talked about their goal to build a Greek Row also off campus. They knew that Greek Row was down, it was never gonna come back, and they have got a goal to actually put together a development where the Greeks, sororities, or fraternities and sororities can go in and build. But it puts us in the same situation, we've got to fund it ourselves. Their plan was to take down a bunch of Section 8 housing here south someplace and develop that property, just off campus. So that might be something to look back into and see where they are with that, if they're still pursuing such a program or not. I just wanna let you know that we did pursue a building, progress, program with the city as well. We'll look back in and see where they are with that, cause it's gonna be 5 years. You know, it's anybody's game now.
Yeah.
You know what I feel like is the shortfall though, is I've been coming back since the 50th anniversary. And the registrations for these events and summer meeting have been PIN numbers 300 and less. There's nothing again until you get to our actives. And we're happy to have them. And like we said, we've never had better communication than we have the last 3 years. But I just don't know where we lost those 600 alumni. And it's sad.
That's the zillion-dollar question.
I've tried to stay in touch with a few people that know some of those in that number, and I've said, you know, can you get them back down there? You can't believe what's going on at the university and the fraternity, and it just seems to be falling on deaf ears. So if you guys can go to the people who help recruit you get into the house, go back 2-3 years and tell them that we've got this shortfall, and tell those people to go back the 2-3 years and talk to those alumni and tell those people to go back the 2-3 years. Somehow it's gotta start with you guys, cause I've tried. I've tried till I'm blue in the face. And I know I was gone for 25 years cause I was raising a kid and, you know, all this other stuff, but I've never been happier than the last 5 years I've come to these events. So.
Yeah. Paul?
And before we push the panic button, ever since I was board president more years than we're gonna admit right now, it's been always the same thing. Guys just coming out of the house are really aggressive, wanna be part of it, wanna help, and God love them. But life happens.
Right.
You guys are gonna find somebody, get married, have kids, your career is gonna say, okay, do you wanna go to the AGR function, or do you wanna be on a plane and get this promotion? Cause the country of Western song like that. Life happens. When the kids get by and establish yourself in your job, you'll come back. And it's just the cycle of life. So don't push the panic button yet. They're not totally gone. They're just living their lives.
I don't know. 300 through 600 ought to be in their 50s.
Once you're gone for a lot of years, it's very hard to get back.
Yeah. I know we gotta, and sorry, but we really gotta wrap this up because we've got 3 scholarships to give right now.
I move that we adjourn.
Well,
Second.
After scholarships.
We can do that.
Moved and adjourned, seconded, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Okay, if everyone would stay here, even though we've adjourned, we are going to give out the scholarships here and now, and the reason for that is we have Brenda Reedy, who is going to make a presentation on her husband's scholarship, Matt Reedy. And she's gonna be on the Zoom call, so we wanna get her.
She's waiting for you.
Yep. So
Hey Randy, ask the ladies to come in, it's okay, ask the ladies to come in.
So let's, you wanna go ahead with that and I'll do these other 2?
Well, I'm not gonna admit her yet. Mike, Mike Common.
Come on in, come on in.
Mike, just tell her, give us, what do you think, Al? 10 more minutes?
Yeah, the lowest.
Just tell her, give us 10 more minutes, and we'll admit her. We'll do the first 2 scholarships.
Yeah, come on in, we're gonna do
And
scholarships
then we'll
right
do the
now.
first
Come on in.
I'm gonna tell her less than 10
You're
today.
gonna tell
She
her what?
said it's fine though, I just texted her a minute ago.
Okay, so she's okay on hold right now, okay, all right.
She might wanna watch the other two, Fred. Go ahead and call her.
You want her to watch the other 2?
That's up to her.
All right, I'll admit her and. All right, let me introduce her. So she comes on board here.
Is she Sarah?
She's Sarah? Brenda, are you there? There, Brenda,
There you
okay.
are.
Thank you, Brenda, and then Chris, I take it, correct? You're muted, by the way, and, we're gonna give out 2 other scholarships first, and you can stay on the Zoom call, and then we'll introduce you as soon as those 2 are done, how's that? Okay.
Okay. Just as kind of a recap, Brother Ron Brohammer was president of the Alumni Association, way back in the teens. I say way back in the teens. In 1819, and at that time, when we were able to actually pay off, the Alumni Association was finally able to pay off a lot of our old debts that we had accumulated. Some go back to the sprinkler system in 116 and the purchase of the house on South 51. At one point in time, I'm not sure, we were over $100,000 in debt. But when Brother Rohammer was president of the Alumni Association, we finally were able to clean up all of those old debts from donations and from the raffle and a number of things. And that's when we started to establish these scholarship funds. And we started to fund then the outstanding sophomore and junior at CALPS and through the SIU Foundation, and to give 2 $1,000 scholarships to active brothers. And at this point, I'd like to present the 2 awards this year to our active brothers. These 2 brothers, the applications were really good. My only comment is I wish I had more applications, because there's certainly, you guys are a great group of guys, and I know that you're deserving of whatever funds that, you can avail yourself of through scholarships or anything else, because I'm sure you can use the money. But for the 2 regular scholarships that we are presenting this year, I would like for Quinn Coons and Jacob Podner to come forward.
Somebody take a snap of a picture for me. Yeah, you got it?
Do we have a camera?
I got one right here.
Cool.
Hey, Al, you mind if I come up there and help you present
Nope,
this?
please do.
I'll let you introduce Brenda to.
So for this, this past year, we established.
You wanna have her comment first?
No.
No, I'll go ahead and
Al first.
This past year, we established a new scholarship for just forestry students, for forestry brothers in the house. And this all came about really through one of our past brothers, Brother Matt Reedy, that was involved in forestry while he was in SIU. And I'll read just a real brief summary of Matt and how we got this established, and then we'll turn this over. Brother Matt Reedy, pin 242, received his degree in forestry management and went on to 40 years of service in the U.S. Forest Service. His career was marked by dedication and excellence. He worked as a forester in the U.S. Forest Service, where he managed major landscape restoration projects at 5 ranger districts in New Mexico and Washington state. Matt eventually channeled his expertise into providing administrative oversight for fire management on the Smoky Bear Ranger District and as fire and aviation staff officer for the Walla Walla Whitman National Forest in Baker City, Oregon. Matt truly fulfilled his dream coming from the city of Chicago to working for the U.S. Forest Service. Matt would be extremely proud of an applicant that has the same idealistic goals as he did in becoming a forest ranger, with his love for wild lands and wildlife. From the city of Chicago to his final resting place in Baker City, Oregon, Matt knew how difficult it was to pursue one's career goals, but with a steadfast conviction and support from family and Beta Alpha brothers, dreams can become a reality. Brenda is with us today, and his son, and would like to join us with some comments before we present the award.
And you're muted, Brenda, so you just have to unmute.
Got it.
There you go.
Okay, unmute. So, nice to see all of you, and sorry we couldn't be there, but I got the flu and I was sick for 10 days. It was awful. But we'll do this the best we can. So Mike Nauman asked me a question earlier in the week as to how a kid from Chicago ended up in forestry. And I said, well, I'll tell you on Saturday. So it's Saturday. So it all started when he was in St. Pat's High School. It was a college prep school, and they had some programs out, and one of them was a YCC crew that would come down to Southern Illinois and work for several weeks doing things that YCC kids do. Fix trails, clean up trash, cut down trees, all those types of things. And after he spent his few weeks down at the Shawnee National Forest, he decided that's what he wanted to do. Before that, he really had no idea, you know, of his direction. But after that, he just decided that, hey, this is what I can do. I think I like this. And so he enrolled in Southern Illinois to go to school. And when he and his dad were there doing some all the registration, that years ago, you guys that are old, like, you know, years ago, it wasn't like it is nowadays. You didn't go online and get the classes. You walked in with little cards and your schedule, and hopefully someone would input it for you. So as they were doing that, the AGRs had a booth there, and they said, well, come on over and see the house. And Matt's dad's like, hey, we're gonna go over there. So they did, and we all know the rest of the story. He became an AGR, and he enjoyed it, and it was a good experience for him. So yeah, he was very adamant about protecting the land and saving it for our future generations. And sometimes that meant that his supervisors didn't see eye to eye with him on his beliefs, but he always was very certain about making sure that people knew that he didn't think this was maybe the right choice they should make. And he always worked to make sure that the Native American tribes and other entities that he worked with, his cattle grazers and things like that, that he kept a very good relationship with all of them, because he knew that it was important for them to be in the loop and for him to know what their concerns were. And he was very adamant about making sure that he spoke with people and knew what was going on, no matter what, the situation he was involved in, whether it was in, forest management, or it was fire, or, just whatever options came his way. He was always very adamant about making sure that, people knew, he knew what the people were thinking. And, sometimes his co-workers or the people that work for him were like, "You're really gonna go out and do that?" He's like, "Well, yeah, we need to know what's out there. You know, we just can't assume that somebody said this is over there, that, you know, it's really is there. We need to go see it." And he, several of his, workers thought, "Is he really going out with us to do this?" And he's like, "Yeah, I wanna see for myself what it's like." So that's just how he was. He was very, concerned about what was going on and making sure we were doing the right things.
Yeah, like Mom said, he wanted to take care of his family and take care of his friends and take care of the great outdoors so that everyone else could enjoy it. And he enjoyed it so much that it just overflowed, and you could feel that, that his passion for his family and his friend and the forest and getting out there, whether it was skiing or marking timber, doing prescribed burns, he really enjoyed it, and it was challenging for him. And like Mom said, sometimes there was issues where he would step up into leadership roles to where he knew things were done right and the people were going to be trained properly, and he was very proud to be an AGR brother and part, 40 years on the Forest Service. He was very proud of that, and it was a big deal, and it still is. He was able to make a big impact on a lot of people's lives, all the way throughout the West, Washington State, and New Mexico, Illinois, and he's the type of person that the cup overflows, and that's the type of person he was, and you could feel that, and he bring a real passion, and whether it was his faith or his family or his friends, the community, or the AGR brotherhood, he gave 100% of what he could do, and he was always proud of that. And so thank you guys for having this scholarship. It means a lot to us, and sorry we couldn't be there today. We really wanted to. But yeah, we wanted to at least get on the Zoom call and chat with you guys. So hopefully you have a little bit better idea about Matt and
Wonderful.
This scholarship. And so, like I said, really appreciate it. It means a lot to us. Thank you.
Well, we appreciate you being on the call.
Real quick story I'll share about Matt was, like Paul said, life happened. So shortly after graduation, Matt and Brenda and myself, we found ourselves down here at Foundry. And Matt was already in the Forest Service, and he's telling me about fighting forest fires. And he goes, "You know, Mike, you get that call at 2 in the morning that, fire's raging out of control, you gotta get to the airport, load the plane." He says, "But you know you're gonna go out and do something wonderful, fight this force." So he goes, "It's a beautiful thing. You're on the highway at 2:30 in the morning, nobody else is out." And he goes, "It's just quiet, it's a beautiful thing. You're on the plane, you're flying to where the forest fire is, you're with all your buddies, it's a beautiful thing." And he went on like that for 10 minutes telling me how beautiful it was just to fight a forest fire. And I knew Matt was hooked. So thank God through social media, another brother had posted on Facebook that he lost a good friend. And anyway, that was Jeff Middleness, who lives in Boise, Idaho. And so I contacted Jeff through Facebook. I said, "I'm flying out there. How far did you live from Matt and Brenda?" And he goes, 2.5 hours, Mike. I said, can you put me up for a couple of days? We're going to Matt's funeral. And, he said, yeah, we will. So, and, meeting Jeff again after 30 years was like being in college again. And, being able to see Brenda again and everything was, great. And, so I was, that was in 24, came to Founders. And last year we heard that the forestry department is like the second largest in the nation here. I was like, well, I know a forestry guy that dedicated his whole life after getting a forestry degree here. So that's why I made the motion to name this scholarship, and I'm just glad we were able to do it. So
Wonderful.
nice to see you, Brenda.
All right.
So for the Matt Reedy Memorial Scholarship, Forestry Scholarship, I'd like to present that this year to Jacob Morrison.
I have a funny story. So I'm getting it on Jacob's behalf because he's actually doing a prescribed bird right now. So he's at Giant City right now doing a prescribed bird. So he said, if I get it on my behalf. There it is.
One more thing about scholarships. I'll need to see the scholarship winners before you leave today, so I need some information.
All right. Well, thank you all. I think it's time to adjourn for lunch. Thank you, Brenda and Chris. I appreciate it, your coming on. And,
Thank you.
And thank all the alumni that were on the call as well.
Thanks, Brenda.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
You bet. Have a
Take care.
good day. All right, I'm gonna end the call. Thanks to everybody. All right, let's go eat.
Hey, Rick, what's the schedule for tonight? What time?
What time is tonight, guys? 6?
6 o'clock.
Eat at 7. Meet.
Hey, just so everybody knows, Janet for last week has been making the dessert again for tonight. And so it's mini cheesecakes, cake pops. I couldn't stop her, so we drove down here and with a bunch of tours.
We don't want you to stop her, Norman.
Don't stop her.
Don't stop her.
I bet he tried, you know?
Yeah.